Did you see the two differences in the stories and the coaches? You see what Dawn Staley said and how she tried to downplay it? And you see Kim Mulkey, how she tried to upplay it? I understand this is an SEC championship game. There's a lot riding on it. LSU, if I'm not mistaken, hadn't beaten South Carolina in a very, very long time.
ESPN's Shannon Sharpe made a phenomenal point on Kim Mulkey.
It's ugly. It's not good. No one wants to be a part of that. No one wants to see that ugliness. But I can tell you this. I wish she would have pushed Angel Reese. Don't push a kid. You 6'8", don't push somebody that little. That was uncalled for, in my opinion. Let those two girls that were jawing, let them go at it.
After she called out Camila Cardoso of South Carolina, Sharpe had a different approach.
But Kim Mulkey, instead of saying, you know what, sometimes when emotion is high, logic is low. And that was not what women's college basketball is about. But for you to take that stand, I wish Cardoso would have pushed Angel Reese. Really? Is that what you want? You want to see a fight? You want the women's game to be marred by a fight? Really? Come on, Kim Mulkey. You've got to be better. And we've got to start doing a better job of holding Kim Mulkey accountable and responsible for some of her comments. We let that stuff slide because she's a national champion. I refuse to do that. I believe she was wrong in this instance. And Dawn Staley showed the utmost class and respect, not only for the game itself, but for her team and for the opposing team. I wish Kim Mulkey had showed that level of respect.
And he's got a point, especially when Mulkey has shown how hypocritical she can be on the subject.
She got knocked down one time in front of our bench, and she tried to get up, and she hit the girl again, and then Angel got a piece of her on the way down. Angel wasn't going to let that girl do that to her teammate. Y'all probably didn't see it, did you? Huh? Okay? It was like, you just did that to my teammate, I'm going to give you a body check right here. Not dirty. That's just, I got your back, teammate. And that's how you build what you ask about as you go down this road in February. It's just good team chemistry.
Interesting. So when it's her side, it's A-okay and good team chemistry. But when it's an opposing squad, it's dirty and ugly. Sharpe had more thoughts.
Because if a man had said that, we would hold him accountable. But somehow Kim Mulkey has gone a long time and escaped criticism for a lot of things that she said. She's gone without criticism. And when I look at, and I remember, rest her soul, Pat Summitt, I had the opportunity of meeting her. Gino Auriemma. Can you imagine if Gino had said that?
Yeah, would have been a problem.
Let's hold Kim Mulkey to the same standard and the high levels that we hold all these other great coaches to. Dawn Staley was class on top of class ×3. In the way she says, I want to apologize because that's not who we are and that's not what we're about. And the other one was saying, well, I wish he had pushed our girl. Really? Really, Kim? Come on now. Hey, we got to do a better job of holding her accountable because we let stuff I don't. But this is really my first time having an opportunity to have a discussion about Kim Mulkey. And she says and does a lot of things that rub me the wrong way. And I'm not going to apologize for being as harsh and as stern as I am because of the way what she had to say yesterday.
Spot on, though awful announcing would write. In Mulkey's defense, she did condemn the kerfuffle. Her comments regarding Reese appeared to be more a matter of her taking issue with the 6'7" Camila Cardoso shoveling the 5'10" Johnson than an actual request for another on-court altercation. Conversely, Mulkey has often embraced conflict. Even earlier in the game, she gave a tense sideline interview with ESPN, and it would be understandable for critics like Sharpe to not give her the benefit of the doubt. After all, the four-time national champion head coach has made no shortage of controversial comments throughout her career, which we'll get into. Meanwhile, Cardoso would write on Twitter, I would like to extend my sincerest apologies for my actions during today's game. My behavior was not representative of who I am as a person or the South Carolina program, and I deeply regret any discomfort or inconvenience it may have caused. I take full responsibility for my actions and assure you that I am committed to conducting myself with the utmost respect and sportsmanship in the future. The focus, however, remains on Mulkey. USA Today's Nancy R. Moore would put in her write-up, a Hall of Famer whose job is equal parts coach and teacher, advocating for a hockey-style brawl that could, in theory, seriously injure someone, her own star player included. It doesn't matter if it was said in jest or Mulkey was trying to make the point that Cardoso shouldn't have gone after someone 9 inches shorter. The mere suggestion was wildly inappropriate, and it only served to further inflame tensions between the two teams. There's a discussion to be had about the refs letting it get to that point, but once it did, it was incumbent upon the coaches, the supposed adults in the room, to defuse the situation. Staley did her part. Mulkey most definitely did not. It's one thing for Mulkey to play fast and loose with her own reputation. Being so casual about the health and safety of others is another matter altogether, and in this case, it crossed a line. In an appearance on ESPN 104.5 FM, a weekly spot for Mulkey, she would double down. I am what I am. I have no ill intentions. I have no agenda. I speak from my heart. I speak from my life experiences. And people like it or don't like it. I have nothing whatsoever in my heart to harm anybody, but I fight like hell. That's who I am. Let's remember who we're talking about here.
Thank you, folks.
Y'all good? You're welcome. Excuse me? I ain't a sissy. I don't have allergies. I got some kind of cold. It might be COVID, but I ain't testing. No, it's sinus. I don't know what you call it. Allergies, flu. I don't know. So if y'all get the flu, blame me during Thanksgiving.
She would say this.
Well, I'm going to take this damn mask off.
A defying figure of COVID and doing the small things to help the most vulnerable.
First of all, thank you for inviting us, and we would like to present you with one of our jerseys.
Wow, I love that.
She practically mandated her team go with her to the Trump White House when Baylor were national champs.
And I want to say this to all of you. I don't think my words will matter, but after the games today and tomorrow, there's 4 teams left, I think, on the men's side and the women's side. They need to dump the COVID testing. Wouldn't it be a shame to keep COVID testing and then you got kids that end up having test positive or something and they don't get to play in the Final Four? So you need to just forget the COVID test and let the 4 teams that are playing in each Final Four go battle it out.
And she clearly does not believe COVID is real or a threat to people.
How would you, with the combination of transfers and incoming freshmen, how would you describe that process of putting that collective group together? And then, too, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Brittany Griner's situation. And I don't think I've seen anything from you on that. And
you won't. I'll answer the first one for you.
Plus, she refused to stand up for her former player, Brittany Griner, when she was detained in Russia. We would later learn, according to Griner, Mulkey demanded she keep her sexuality private. The WNBA player would only come out after being drafted. ESPN's Kate Fagan would say, I did a story in which Brittany Griner told me that when she was at Baylor, she was not allowed to be openly gay. And this wasn't a shocking story considering it is actually written in the handbook of Baylor that you're not allowed to be openly gay at the school. But after we put out that story, Kim Mulkey believed that I had forced Brittany Griner to say this, and she told the higher-ups at ESPN that I needed to be fired for this. Fagan would add, she called the higher-ups and told them that I should be fired. Kim Mulkey is my dark horse for person in sports that you never want to cross. She might not even be the dark horse. She might just be the number one person in sports that is terrifying. When asked quite simply if she had ever coached a gay player, Mulkey rebuked it with this quote, "Don't ask me that. I don't ask that. I don't think it's anybody's business. Whoever you are, I don't care to know that." From Griner's book, this passage speaks volumes. When we got there, the coaches gave us our bags to clean out our lockers. Then Kim said to us, I know I probably won't see a couple of y'all anymore because you won't be around. I felt like those words were meant for me. So I said, who are you talking about? And she looked at me and said, I know you'll probably have things to do, the draft and all that, so you probably won't be around. That stung me a little, the way she said it. She was right about my upcoming schedule. It turned out to be even crazier than I imagined. But I also felt like she was cutting ties with me right then and there, like I wasn't wanted around the program anymore. I was still reeling from the loss to Louisville. So I just put my head down, cleaned out my locker, and took all my stuff from the gym. I didn't set foot in there again for weeks. and after an essay scandal at Baylor. Mulkey proudly told supporters of the school, and I quote, "If somebody around you and they ever say, 'I will never send my daughter to Baylor,' you knock them right in the face." Lastly, if there are any stories we missed, if there are any that you would like to submit, get at me and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. DMs are open, and please, if you can, support the network. Go to tyt.com/join.